Good morning. Let's start our session. So in the previous session, like we were discussing about the Docker images as well as the Docker containers. So let's recap for a few minutes, like what we were discussing in the previous session. So we understood like how to install Docker in a particular Linux server. So if this is the Linux server that I have launched, I just launched the server with the name of Docker, but we are yet to install Docker in it. So we have already seen the process like how to install Docker in a Linux server. So usually we use some Linux commands for installing Docker. So after connecting to the server, usually we use like sudo yum install Docker. This is one command we use for installing Docker. So we are trying to install Docker package from the M repository. The command meaning is we are installing the Docker package from the M repository. So once we run this one, then the Docker package will be installed. The Docker package will get downloaded and installed. And once it is installed, we can verify. We need to run one more command. Like the command that we need to run is sudo systemctl start Docker. This is the command mainly for starting the Docker service. And then we can run any of the Docker commands. Like suppose if I want to pull the image, we already discussed about the public registry called Docker Hub. All the Docker images. If we want to pull any of the Docker images, like we can pull all the Docker images from here. So this is a place where your images will be available. If you want any public image, you can go here and you can search for the public images. The website is hub.docker.com. So how we are pulling the images, like we can see here. Suppose if I am searching for, in the previous session also we discussed about Jenkins. Suppose if the Nexus is the image, Nexus is the application that I want to run in the form of a container, I'll search with Nexus. So we have few things here. We have a few images. We have some images like Sonatype Nexus, Dockety/Nexus. Like that, we have some images which are naming with Nexus. Like we can take any of the image. So uh, I'm just pulling this image, which is called Sonatype/Nexus. We can pull any image, okay, to understand what is the Docker concept. I'm just pulling this image. You see, when I'm running all the Docker commands start with Docker. If I want to download the image, if I want to pull the image from the public registry or any private registry, we use this command, Docker pull command. Docker pull is mainly for pulling the image from the registry. So to see whether the image is downloaded or not, we can run a command called Docker images so that we see this image was downloaded. This particular Sonatype Nexus image was downloaded just now. And if I want to run this as a container, I'll run this as a container by running a command called Docker run. Okay. So this is how I run the image. The Docker run and the image name. We need to provide the image name. Docker run and the image name. Sonatype/Nexus. Along with this, we will also give some port number. Suppose if the default port number of Nexus is 8081, and we can assign any of the port number, any 4-digit port number. It is up to us. So I'm just assigning 9092 for this one. 8081 is the default port number. -P I'm using for assigning the port number. Okay, this option I'm using for assigning the port number. Similarly, I'm also using -D option here. -D is mainly for detached mode. -D stands for detached mode. This is mainly because to avoid the logs, to be printed on the console. Usually, if I do not give -D, the logs will be printed on the console. So if I don't want the logs to be printed on the console and I want my terminal to leave as empty, so I will use -D option. And along with that, we will also use -name option. -name. I can give some name with my Nexus container to my Nexus container like my Nexus. Okay, this is the option I'm using. -name option I'm using to provide some name. -P is mainly for assigning the port number. -D stands for detached mode. If I run this, we have a container created. How to see if the container is created or not? Simply by running a command called docker ps-a. Meaning is to see all the Docker processes, to see all the Docker containers running. All -A stands for all. To see all the Docker containers running, we will use docker ps-a. It will display this command will display after running this command, you will get the output like all the running containers as well as stopped containers. So one container is running now. It was up 29 seconds ago. And I told you how to access this container. So if the container is running, we have seen the status. The container is up. Okay, it was created 30 seconds ago and it was up. How to connect to the container? Go to the server where we are running the container. Copy the public IP address and paste it in the browser. And what is the port number that we are assigning? Make sure that what is the port number that we are assigning. 9092 is the port number. So we will try with the same port number. 9092 is the port number that we have assigned. Anyhow, the default port number is fine. The default port number is 8081, but we have replaced the default. We are assigning 9092 as the port number. That's the reason why we are. So that's the reason why we are giving the port number like 9092. So if we are not able to access it, we will go here to the instance. We'll go to the instance, click on the security groups. We'll go to the security groups here. Where the security groups? We'll go to the security. Under security, we have security groups and we will edit the inbound rules. I want to add a rule called 9092. The port number that I would like to add is 9092. Okay, it is from anywhere. I'm saving the rules. Now we can try it. So now I'm able to access the Nexus server, but some issue with the image. That's why I could not able to see the page and all. Okay. So if you want to see the page and all, definitely. So sometimes the issue is that we are taking T2.micro machine here. So you can try with T2.medium, take some T2.medium configuration and try downloading the images and running the containers and all, so that you will be able to access it. So like that, we will be, we can see like, we can access all the containers in the same way only. Okay, we can access all the containers in the same way. So this is the image actually we are downloading from the Docker Hub, but there are many images. You see, this is one image. Docker T/Nexus is one image, and there are many images, but maybe there might be some. We need to find out like which image works for which image will work fine for us. We need to find out, and we need to download that image, and we need to run that image as a container. So this is one example where we are running. How can we run the image as a container? So Docker run is the command we use. So let's take, we already seen like we have taken Jenkins image and we ran it as a container. And we know how to take the Nexus image and how to run it as a container. And we can also see some kind of things like, let me take the Sonar Cube image. Okay, let me take the Sonar Cube image. We will be having a tool called Sonar Cube, which is a code quality checking tool. You can find out the image for Sonar Cube also. You see, this is the image. This is the Docker official image for Sonar Cube. I'm just copying this image and I'm pulling the image here. I'm just showing you like how can we pull the images and how can we run the images as a containers. So Docker pull Sonar Cube command will pull the Sonar Cube image. And once the download is completed, once the download is completed, we can see the list of images. Still it is downloading. The size of the image is very high. You see here around 66 something. Okay, let's see. Once it is downloaded, we can try to see the list of images that are available in our machine. So the image size is very large here. Maybe we need to take the T2.medium, but anyhow, let me try this. Docker images. So Sonar Cube is downloaded. You see the size of the image. The size of the image itself is 1.1 GB. Very, okay. It's a very huge image. And the size of the Sonar type Nexus is 464 MB. Okay, let's try to run the Sonar Cube image. Docker run. How to run any particular image to to make it as a container? Docker run that image name. Very simple. Docker run the image name, and we need to provide the port number -p. What is the port number we use? What is the default port number of Sonar Cube? We need to understand. So if we don't know the default port number of Sonar, we don't know the default port number of Sonar. 9000. 9000 is the default port number. So what I am doing is here I am going to give 8000 and assigning 9000 -D for detached mode. Second, -D for detached mode. And we will also provide some name to the container, hyphen name, my sonar. I'm just providing the name of the container as my sonar. Okay, I'm just running it. So how to access this one? We are enabling 8000 port number. Make sure you go here in the security. So whatever the port number that you are enabling, make sure that you have enabled the port number under security groups. Under security groups, edit the inbound rules. Make sure that you are enabling the port number called 8000 anywhere IPv4. Save it and collect this one. Okay, this is the server, the same server, in the same server only we have installed, but the port number that we have used is 8000, and I'm just trying with 8000 port number. Usually I should get. So maybe like the image size itself is very high here, like the image size itself like 1.4 GB, and we have taken the T2.micro. Maybe it is very difficult to load. It is very difficult to run that. So let's do one thing. What I will do is, see, it is saying like it takes some time, or otherwise let's do one thing. We will launch one more server with T2.medium configuration and let's try. I'm just launching an instance, one more instance with some higher configuration. I'm just giving the name of the server as Docker Medium and same Amazon Linux. Here I need to select like T2.medium something. Okay, I'm just selecting 2 CPUs, whereas 4 GB memory. And key pair I'm using, I'm just launching the instance. You see here even if I'm trying, even I have enabled the port number, like 8000 is the port number I have enabled. I could not able to load it. So let's see now. Then by taking the server which is having high configuration, I've taken, just now I have launched a server which is called Docker Medium. I'll connect to this one and I will try to install Docker in it, and I'll try to pull the same images here, and I will try whether we can able to run the application, whether we can able to run them as a containers or not. I'm just connecting to the Docker Medium server. I'll close this one, T2.micro for some time. Okay. Let's close this. I have connected to the Medium server, sudo su hyphen, and you can verify whether Docker is already present here. Docker is not found. So you can run a command called sudo yum install Docker. So the Docker will be installed. Once the Docker is installed, you can start the Docker service by using sudo systemctl start Docker. We will run a command like sudo systemctl start Docker. This is the command we use for running the Docker service. Once after the Docker service is started, we can pull the image now, Docker pull. Okay, the image that I am downloading is SonarQube, Docker pull SonarQube, the same command you see here. Go to the, even if you go to the hub.docker.com, okay, this is the public registry where we can find all the images. Suppose if you want to find out the image for SonarQube, yes, I'm just finding the image for SonarQube. This is the SonarQube image. What is the command we use? Docker pull SonarQube. That is the same thing I have used. And you see now the image is getting pulled. So once the image is pulled, you can run a command called Docker images to see the image and all. Yes, now I'm going to run a command called Docker run. The image name is SonarQube. -P is the port number. 9000 is the default port, but I am assigning the port number as 8000. Okay, I'm just assigning the port number as 8000 and -D for detached mode. -D for detached mode. I'm going to assign some name to this container. The name of the container is my sonar. Okay, this is altogether a different new machine I'm trying. I'm just running this command. I have enabled 8000 port number. I'll go to this server. We need to enable the port number called 8000. Go to the security rules. Under security rules, we will be enabling a rule called 8000 anywhere IPv4. I'm saving the rules. I'll take the public IP of the server, collect the public IP of that particular server. This is the public IP. Go here. The browser, we will give 8000 port number and we will try with 8000 port number. Now you see the Sonar Cube is starting. So earlier, why the Sonar Cube is not started? Because the image size is large and we have taken only the server like T2.micro, which is having 1 GB RAM. So it is very difficult to run those images in the servers which is having less configuration. Okay. Suppose if you take some T2.micro, it is very difficult to run the Docker images, which is having some large memory capacity. You see that the Docker, for this Docker image, you see what is the size of this Docker image? 1.1 GB. And if I'm trying to run in a T2.micro server, it is not starting it. So now we can able to see at least the Sonar Cube is starting. I can able to see the thing like Sonar Cube is starting. In the same way, you can also see the Nexus also. How to get the Nexus? You can go here and start with Nexus. Okay. We will try to pull the Nexus official image. How we are knowing that it is an official image? Can you see here? Okay. For now, I'll try to pull this image. Okay. I'm just pulling the image like sonatype/Nexus. I'll show you like how to pull the Nexus image also. Docker pull sonatype/Nexus. And we will also run the we will also run this image as a container so that I will show you how can we run the application with the help of Docker image. If I have the Docker image, okay, if I have the Docker image, I can simply run that application in the form of a container. Now you see the SonarCube application is running. How the application is running? This application is running in the form of a container, Docker container. I'm accessing the Docker container. This is the port number that I have assigned for the Docker container. This is the meaning of a container actually. So usually we told like a Docker container, Docker image. We should be familiar with these terms. What is Docker image? The Docker image consists of the binaries and libraries. Docker image consists of the binaries and libraries necessary to run one application. If I want to run one application, I need the necessary files. So those necessary files will be present in the Docker image. Okay, we are keeping all the necessary files in the Docker image. So now I'm able to access the Docker container. Can you see? This is the Docker container I'm accessing. SonarCube application is we were able to access SonarCube. That doesn't mean that SonarCube is running. SonarCube application is running. But SonarCube application is not running in the form of older approach. SonarCube application is running in the form of a Docker container now. You see here, the SonarCube application is running in the form of a Docker container. Now let's try to go for this one. Nexus image is also downloaded. We can see the list of images by running a command called Docker images. Yes, we have Sonatype Nexus downloaded. How to run this one? Docker run. What is the image name? Sonatype/Nexus hyphen name my Nexus. I'm giving the name of the container as my Nexus. So you should provide something like my Nexus. I'm giving -p. The port number, the default port number of Nexus is 8081. I will be assigning the port number called 7071. You can assign any port number, any 4-digit port number. -d for detached. Okay. I'm just running this sonar. Invalid. Okay. There should be some space after this one. Now you can run it. Yes. Now please enable 7071 port number here. Go to the security. Yes, here we'll go to the security groups. Please enable add rule 7071 is the port number we are adding. Okay, I'm just saving the rules. That's it. I'll try to access with the same IP. Okay, this is the IP address that I'm having. Remove all these things. The IP address is this one, and the port number is 7071. Okay, the same thing we are getting. Maybe the issue is with the image itself. Okay, the Docker image. Maybe the issue is with the Docker image itself. We are not sure. We can try with a different image and we can try to access Nexus. But hope you understood how can we how can we download the images? How can we not download? How can we pull the images? how can we run the images as a containers? All those things you might understood, I think. So now let's move to the next thing. So how can we create our own customized Docker images? So now I am pulling the images from the public registry. There is a public registry called Docker Hub. So every time I'm going there, I'm pulling my images. So it is not a good practice actually. Of course, we can use whatever the images we need, and we need to store all the images at our private place. It is not a good practice to connect to the public repository always, public registry always, and to pull the images from the public registry. Okay, due to the security concerns, it is not a recommended. It is not the recommended practice. So to avoid that, what we need to do is we need to save all our images at one private registry. Okay, we need to save all our images at our private registry, and sometimes based on our requirement, we might need the image in a different way. So suppose if I want to run Tomcat application, or suppose if I want to run SonarQube, I am downloading the SonarQube image, I am running the SonarQube image as a container. That is fine. But always the requirement will be not like that. Maybe my requirement is like I'm having an application called online bookstore. I want to run that online bookstore application in the form of a Docker container. If I want to run online bookstore application as a Docker container, first I need to convert the jar file, online bookstore.jar file or var file into Docker image. So we are going to understand how we are going to create the customized Docker images, how we are going to create the customized Docker images. So whenever, let's try to understand usually, what is the meaning of customizing our Docker image? The meaning of customized Docker image is we are going to prepare our own Docker images. How to prepare your own Docker images? That's what we are now focusing on. We are going to learn how to create our customized Docker images. The customized Docker images can be done in two ways. We can do it in two ways. If you want to prepare your own Docker images, yes, you can do it, but it can be done in two different ways. Either by using a Docker commit command, you can do it either by using Docker commit command, and you can also do it by running a Docker by using Docker file mechanism. Two methods are there. If you want to prepare your own customized images, own customized Docker images, you can do it in two ways. One is by using Docker commit command. The other one is by using Docker file. So let's start with Docker commit. How we are going to create our own images by using Docker commit. Okay, let's see now. So first of all, what I am doing is try to understand this particular command. What I am doing is Docker run. The image name is Ubuntu. So Ubuntu is an operating system. There is an image called Ubuntu. Even you can go here and search like in the public registry. Okay, in the public registry of Nexus, you can search with Ubuntu also. There will be Ubuntu images. Yes, we have Ubuntu images. Ubuntu is an operating system. It is a Linux operating system, and we have images for Ubuntu in the Docker Hub. Now, what I'm doing is, if I have the images like that, what I'm doing is, if I want to pull the image, okay, if I just want to pull the image, I will run the image like, I will just pull the image, okay, Docker pull Ubuntu. I'm just pulling the image. I'm just pulling the image, okay. So if I pull the image, the Ubuntu image will be downloaded. Ubuntu image will get downloaded to my local machine. Once the Ubuntu image is downloaded, into my local machine, you can search whether Ubuntu image is available in your local machine or not by running a command called Docker image ls. Yes, I can able to see the Ubuntu image. Ubuntu image is there. The size is very less, 78 something, 78 MB. Once the image is available, we will run the image. While running the image, usually the command we run is Docker run Ubuntu. Usually the command we run is Docker run Ubuntu. So while running the command, as I told you, we will give some additional things, additional options in the run command. So Docker run Ubuntu is enough. This command is enough actually to run the image and to make it as a container, to make the container. But we need to give some additional options. We are giving some additional options. Okay, here also, let's try to understand what is the additional options that we are giving. You know, what is the meaning of name? We are giving hyphen hyphen name, Docker run hyphen hyphen name. We'll be giving some name like my Ubuntu is the name of the container. I'm giving the name of the container. This is the name of the image. No confusions. So this is the name of the image. Ubuntu is the name of the image. If I run this image, container will be created and the name of the container I'm providing is my Ubuntu. Okay. And what I'm doing is after creating a container, I would like to connect with the container immediately. If I want to connect with the container, I will use an option called hyphen IT. Hyphen IT stands for interactive terminal. I'll connect to the terminal by using the hyphen IT option. Hyphen IT stands for interactive terminal, meaning I'm going to run an image called Ubuntu. Once the container is created, I'm just providing some name to the container. Name of the container is my Ubuntu. Hyphen IT stands for interactive terminal. I'm going to interact with the container. Now, once I run this command, you see, I will be connecting to the Ubuntu container, my Ubuntu container. The name of the container is my Ubuntu. I ran Ubuntu image, container is created, and the name of the container is my Ubuntu. Hyphen IT stands for interacting, to interact with the container. So I got connected to the container. You see, earlier it was showing root at the rate IP address. Okay. Yes. Earlier it was showing like root at the rate IP address. This is the operating, this is the IP address of the server. Now it is showing like root at the rate container ID. This is the container ID D1720. This is container ID. Now I am inside the Ubuntu container. You can give ls command to see the file system. You can give ls command to see the file system present inside. You can give ls command to see the file system present inside the container. These are the files present. So now what I am doing is I am inside the Ubuntu container. I am just checking whether Git package is available inside the Ubuntu container. It is not. It is not available. It is not available. Okay. See, I'm not inside the operating system. Try to understand. I am not at the operating system level. Okay. I am not at the operating system level. I am inside the container. Docker container is different. This operating system, root level operating system is different. I am inside the container. I got connected to the container, my Ubuntu container. I ran the Ubuntu image. My Ubuntu container is created. I got connected to the my Ubuntu container. Now I am inside the container. I'm just giving ls command to see the file system available. Yes, these are the files. These are the files and folders available. And similarly, I'm just trying to see whether any Git package is available here. No, Git package is not available. How can we run the Git package? How can we install Git package? I can run a command called m install git. M install git. So M is not working here. So in the Ubuntu operating system, M is not the repository you should use. Maybe you need to check with the apt install apt repository. So I'm just trying with apt install git something. It is also showing like unable to. Okay, let me. So first we need to update the apt repository and then we need to run it. Okay. I'm going to run one more command called apt-get update. The meaning is we are going to update the apt repository first. So what is apt repository? apt repository is similar to our yum. So yum will work in some of the Linux flavors. apt will work in other Linux flavors. If yum is not working, you try with apt. If apt is not working, you can try with yum. So yum-get update means we are updating the apt repository. So this is the command you need to run before we install any packages from the apt repository. apt-get update. And then you can try with apt install git. Now you see git package is getting downloaded. It is asking for the confirmation. I'm giving the confirmation. apt package will get installed. The git package will get installed. We are installing a package called git. So now I'm just giving a command called git space hyphen hyphen version. Now, okay, git space hyphen hyphen version. I'm able to find the git version. This is the git version I'm able to find. In the same way, so where I am installing all these packages, that is very important to understand. I am installing all these packages inside the Docker container. I had a Docker image. I ran the Docker image as a container. I got connected to the container. Inside the container, I am running all these commands. I would like to install maven also. apt install maven -y. I'm running this package also. Okay, I'm just trying to install maven package also. How to verify whether maven package is installed or not? So to verify the maven package is installed or not, we will run a command called mvn space hyphen hyphen version. I'll run a command called mvn space hyphen hyphen version so that maven package will be installed. You see, Apache maven is installed. So I am doing all these things. I have installed git package inside the container. I have installed maven package inside the container. Once after installing all the required packages, once after installing all the required packages, we will save the container as an image again. We will come out of the container. Okay. We will save the container as an image. How to save the container as an image? Now the container is running. Now the container is running. So we can save the container as an image by running a command called docker commit to save the container as an image. Now you see the container is running, right? The container is running. We can simply come out of the container by running a command called exit. Now we came to the operating system. We came at root level, okay, operating system level. We got exited from the container and we are at the operating system level. So if you see here, the container is still running. How to see the container is running or not? You can see like Docker. Okay, now just why? Because we gave exit command and that's the reason why we exited 16 seconds ago. We got exited 16 seconds ago. Usually what happens is like we need to come out of the container without giving exit command. But let me show you. Suppose if you want to save the container, how to save it as docker commit. You see, what I'm doing is docker commit. I'm saving the name. I'm saving the container. What is the name of the container earlier we are having? My Ubuntu is the name of the container. Docker commit. So it is not the name of the container. Let me show. Docker commit is the command. And this is the actual image I have now. Now I am going to save my image as my Ubuntu image. I am going to save the image as my Ubuntu image. And I will provide some name. You can see the command docker commit C11. C11 is the container name, okay? To save the container as an image, you need to provide docker commit command, the container name and the image name. So earlier you see what is the container name? My Ubuntu is the container name I have provided. Image name is Ubuntu. Now I would like to give the container name as my Ubuntu and I would like to save the Ubuntu as Ubuntu 1. I would like to save my customized image as Ubuntu 1. Earlier my original image was my Ubuntu only. My original image was Ubuntu. Now I am saving the name of the image as Ubuntu 1. I'll commit this. I'm saving this like this. Let's see. Okay. Docker commit. This is the name of the container earlier, whatever the container that we were running. And the name of the image I would like to save is my Ubuntu 1. So now you can go for Docker images command. We were able to see some image like Ubuntu is the old image that we were having. This is the customized image. Ubuntu 1 is the customized image. How we got this customized image? With the help of Docker commit command. Docker commit. name of the container. This container I would like to save with this image name, my Ubuntu one name. This is the container that was running, and I would like to save that container with the name of Ubuntu one. Now I would like to connect with this Ubuntu one image or this container. Okay, I would like to connect with this. I would like to run this container now. How to run this Ubuntu one container? Docker run. I'm running Ubuntu one container. Docker run. Ubuntu one is the image. If you want to run that as a container, you can provide some name. I'm giving the name of the container as my Ubuntu one. And to connect to the container, we can use a command called -it. I'm connecting to I'm connecting to this image. Okay. This is the image I got saved. I got customized. This is the customized image. This is not the image that we downloaded from the Docker Hub. This is the customized image. And customized image. This customized image, we are running this as a container. We are running this as a container like my Ubuntu one. The name of the container I have provided is my Ubuntu one. -it stands for interactive terminal. I'm going to interact with the terminal now. Now you can check the Git version is available in this customized version or not. Sorry, getting correct. Okay. Can you see now? Earlier, when we were checking the Git version, Git space hyphen version, we were not able to see the Git version. But now I am able to see the Git version. Let me check mvn space hyphen version. I'm able to see the maven version now. Why? Because I got connected to the container. Now, this is my customized image. Ubuntu one is the customized image. Okay, if you are confusing, I'll explain you again once again. Like I'm clearing the screen. You'll understand better. Now let me remove all the images. These are all the images I'm having. We can remove all the images. Okay, we have a command to remove all the images. Single command, with the help of single command, we can remove. But if you want to remove the images, we can give like Docker RMI, whatever the images name we are having here. Just copy paste all the images. If I want to remove Ubuntu image, okay. And if I want to remove the Sonar Cube image, we can remove all the images like this. If I want to remove the, okay, we can list out all the images that you want to remove. Or otherwise, with the help of single image also, we can remove. I'll tell you. This is one approach. If it is not getting removed, what you can do is you can remove all the images by giving -f. Forcibly, you can remove all the images. And when you see the Docker images, okay, Docker images, we don't have any images now. But you see the Docker containers, if any containers are running, the usual approach is we need to remove all the containers, then we need to remove all the things. Like suppose, let me remove all the containers. With the help of a single command, okay, with the help of a single command, we can remove all the containers. Docker container to remove all the containers. We can remove all the Docker containers, whichever are running. Let me see. Docker remove Docker ps-a. This is the command we use. Try to understand the meaning here. What is the meaning of this? Docker remove. RM stands for removing. And we are going to -v-f. F stands for forcibly. -v stands for showing the status. Verbose in the verbose mode, like showing the status, whether they are getting deleted or not. So you see here Docker ps means all the Docker running processes. -qa stands for the process which are got exited. Now you see we are removing all the containers. Single command. Hope you can understand here what are all the things that we are doing to clean out all the containers. So -v option is mainly for deleting all the volumes that are associated with the containers usually. There are no volumes for now. But if we are using -v option to delete if any volumes are associated. So now we have deleted all the containers. This is the command we use, docker remove. If any volumes are there, we'll delete those volumes also. Forcibly, we are deleting all the Docker process. Okay. Now you can see by giving a command called docker ps-a, we don't have any containers and we don't have any images also. You can run Docker images. It seems to be, we have some images here. Can also remove all the Docker images that are still there. Docker command to remove all images. So I'm going to remove all the Docker images with the help of this command docker remove -f. I'm removing all the images. Now you can see the status just by running Docker images. Yes, all the images got removed. We have removed all the images. Okay, Docker remove, RMI stands for remove image. By forcibly, I'm removing all the images. -A stands for all. Okay, so Q stands for, you see here, meaning of Q is, okay, we'll let you know what is the meaning of. So this is the command, like these are the command that we are using for removing all the images. Okay, Docker RMI -f dollar, we are just printing like all the images, Docker images, all which are running as well as which are all the images that are present inside the local machine. If you want to remove all the images that are present in the local machine, this is the command that we can use. By now, I'm clearing the screen. So try to understand what is a Docker commit command. So we are talking about customizing the Docker images. How to create our customized Docker images? First, we will download some image. Like I'm downloading an image called Ubuntu. This is the image that I am pulling from Docker Hub. Remember, this is the image that I am pulling from the Docker Hub. Ubuntu is the image that I am pulling from the Docker Hub. And you can see by running a command called docker images ls or docker images command, yes, Ubuntu image is downloaded. Now, how to run this as a container? I am running this as a container by giving a command called docker run. We can provide some name to the container. I am providing some name to the container as my Ubuntu. And I'm using the image as Ubuntu. Okay, by this is the image. Usually, this is the image I'm going to run. If it becomes a container, this will be the name of the container. And I'm giving -it option. -it stands for interactive terminal. Interactive terminal. Now I got connected to the container. See, when I'm giving -it option, I will just connect to the container. So now I got connected to a container called my Ubuntu. So here I'm just checking for Git version. So Git is not found. I'm just showing you an example. Okay, Git is not available here. I'm finding like Maven is available or not. No, Maven is also not available. What I'm doing now, I am saving both the packages. I am installing both the packages. How to install both the packages? So this is an Ubuntu operating system. Yum command will not work. That's the reason why I am just using apt-get update. This is the first command that I need to run in the Ubuntu operating systems. apt-get update so that apt repository will get updated. After that, we can install Git package, apt install Git. So Git is getting downloaded and it will get installed. Git package will get installed. So once the Git is installed, so now we are going to install Maven also. The same command I'm using, apt install Maven-y. I'm installing Maven package also. So why I'm installing these two packages are not there, and I need these two packages inside the Ubuntu image. I need these two packages inside the Ubuntu image. I'm customizing the Ubuntu image now. So whatever the packages I require, I'm installing all the packages and I'm going to save that container. So where I am installing, you see, once the packages are installed, I'm inside the container. I got connected to the container and I'm installing all these packages inside the container. Now simply what I am doing, I am coming out. You can install one more package also if you want, but I am coming out from the container. I am coming out from the container by giving a command called, by running a command called exit. I'm exiting. I'm coming out from the container. So now you can see Docker ps-a. We have only one container now. The name of the container is my Ubuntu. Image name is Ubuntu. Container name is my Ubuntu. So I would like to, what I'm doing, I would like to make my customized image. I would like to save the customized image. What I'm doing, I will use this container, commit, Docker commit. The name of the container is what? My Ubuntu is the name of the container. So this container, I'm going to save this container as an image. I'm going to save this container as an image. So I am saving this container with it's a different name. Docker commit. This is the container name and this is the image name. So my Ubuntu container is going to save with a different image name called Ubuntu 1. That's what I'm doing. So I will create, so I'm going to create one more image with a name called Ubuntu 1. Let's see now. Okay. So, so now you see, I'm just giving a command called Docker images. I'm giving a command called Docker images. So earlier we had only one image. Ubuntu was the only image that I had. Now I had Now I had one another image called Ubuntu 1. Okay. I had another image called Ubuntu 1. So earlier we had only one image called Ubuntu. Now I have another image called Ubuntu 1. So if I want to run this image, okay, if I want to connect to this image, if I want to run this image as a container, we can do it. If I want to connect to this, let me show you how we are going to connect to the container. So usually we can connect to the container by giving a command called docker run. If I want to connect to Ubuntu, if I want to connect to the Ubuntu, I'll give like docker run Ubuntu. Before that, I'll give -it. We'll provide the name of the container as my Ubuntu. Okay. I'm able to find my Ubuntu. Sorry. C ps-a. We have these things, right? This is the only container that we're running, and this container was exited earlier. We need to start this container again. How to start this container? We can start this container by giving a command called docker start. Docker start, and the container name is my Ubuntu. The container is started. You can see by running a command called docker psa, the container is started. How to connect with this container? Docker run, docker execute. Okay, docker execute my Ubuntu. One second, let me show you how can we connect to this container called Ubuntu 1. Okay, we have Ubuntu 1 image. How to run Ubuntu image? Docker run Ubuntu 1. Docker run Ubuntu 1. Ubuntu 1 is the image. And if I want to name the container as, I will name the container as my Ubuntu 1. And I will also give -it option directly here itself. -it is for interacting with the terminal. So I would like to connect. I'm having Ubuntu image. If I run the Ubuntu image, I'll get a container. This is the name of the container I'm providing, and I'm going to connect with that container. So I got connected with the container now with my customized image. Okay, this is my Ubuntu one is the customized image. I am just trying to see whether Git package is available here or not. I am trying to find out Git is available. And you see Maven, yes, Maven is also available. Maven is also available. So how Git packages and Maven packages got working here? Earlier, Git and Maven were not working in the old Ubuntu image. So since this is the customized image, we have installed all the packages and we save that container. So this is the main command that I am running, docker commit. I am going to save the container into image. Whatever the container you are running, get connected to the container, install all the packages, and save that container as an image so that you will get all the package. You will see all the packages that you get installed. Okay, you can verify whatever the packages that you have installed. This is how we can customize the images. Okay, this is how we can customize the images by using a command called docker commit. This is one method of, this is one way of creating the customized Docker images. The other way of creating customized Docker images is by using the Docker file. So we can also create our customized Docker images by using Docker file mechanism. So to understand the Docker file, we need to discuss like Docker file will be having some keywords. We need to understand the keywords. What are all the keywords that we use in the Docker file and all. So we'll continue these things in the next session. So we have some keywords. We need to understand some keywords that are being used in the Docker file. We have from keyword, maintainer keyword, CMD, entry point, run keyword, user. These are all the keywords that we have. We are going to use inside the Docker file. And if you want to understand what is the necessity of writing Docker files and all, the main purpose is like we need to create a Docker image. Suppose if I want to create a Docker image, I have two ways of creating Docker images. One is by using docker commit command. The other way is by writing a Docker file. Once after writing the Docker file, then I will build this Docker file so that the Docker image will be created. Okay, these are the two ways we have. Let's see, like in the next session, we will understand like what is Docker file and how we are going to write a Docker file and all those things. For today, we'll stop this for here. Any questions? We'll discuss. Otherwise, we'll close it for today and we'll see the rest of the things tomorrow. Any questions?